welcome to another episode of Chatty Broads with Becca and Jess.
We are coming at you, broads.
Good morning, Chatty Broads family.
Hello, broads. We are here.
Sorry, I really want to make Ty Pennington happen again. Where did he go?
Ty Pennington. We discovered, by the way, that that's what that's from.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Before this, Broads, before we recorded this episode, we recorded Thursday's episode, which, by the way, is featuring Jessenia. We have another fantastic sex convo. We had Jessenia on like over a year ago, in case you didn't listen to that episode. It's fantastic. But I figured out that the Good Morning whatever family is from Extreme Home Makeover, thanks to y'all.
With Ty Pennington, with that face.
With that hair.
With that hair, that iconic hair, honestly.
Iconic. He was kind of hot.
Kind of hot. I had so many dreams about him.
He looks like a Christian rock band lead singer.
With those eyes, those piercing eyes.
Now to me, he kind of looks like someone's hot dad.
I mean, I always enjoyed a hot dad. And
I mean, right? Who doesn't?
I wonder what he looks like now.
He's 56?
What?
That makes me uncomfortable.
That makes me feel old.
Does he have an Instagram? Okay. Anyway.
Anyways.
He does.
Does he really?
Yeah, apparently he has a show now.
I mean,
he's
always
still
does
zaddy, even though it's old. He's oh my god, Jess, this is your man's. I'm sorry, this is your dream man's.
Oh my god.
Isn't it?
Hold on. Sorry, broads. I'm going to have to go hit a quick hot follow on my Instagram.
Bro, I'm sorry. It looks like your dream man to me.
No, he is my dream man, and I'm following him right now. Anyone following me is going to just be like, what? Did you just want to
He looks like he's just ready to take you to Tulum and take a picture of you on his boat.
Oh my god, I cannot wait to slide into his DMs. You know whose DMs I won't be sliding into? Chris Harrison.
Ew, oh my god, he is not Zaddy Chris.
He is not Zaddy Chris, and honestly, I take back any time we ever called him Zaddy or Daddy, we strike it from the record. It is.
Ew, dude, I'm so glad I was up on hating on him early. I was ahead of the times, I gotta say.
Well, broads, we have some announcements to make. If you're not on the Instagram and following some of the Bachelor accounts on the gram or following some Bachelor contestants, a lot transpired the past couple days. And when I say this past week has felt like a millennia, I'm not exaggerating. It seemed like forever and a day, truly, because so much happened.
Yeah.
So if you listened to last week's episode, we talked about the Chris Harrison, Rachel Lindsay interview, and we were talking about hashtag fire Chris Harrison. After we talked about that, someone created a petition. And let me tell you about this petition. Hundreds of thousands of signatures.
Are you serious?
Oh,
wait,
overnight.
Really?
Yes.
I thought, oh my God.
Yes.
I thought it got to like 50K.
Oh, no. This petition made it very clear, okay? Now.
Oh my God.
Yes. So Chris Harrison
oh my God.
then put out a statement, like probably within 24 hours of this petition, potentially. He put out a statement that was just shitty. It was just this, like,
just typical,
just like, I don't even know what that means.
Blah, blah, PR.
You're just
I
saying,
don't stand for this, whatever.
Yeah, you're saying PR words. You're like this haphazard, like, quote unquote apology, as we'll call it. Well, then something happened that has never happened before in the history of the Bachelor world. The contestants from the current season and from Claire/Tayshia's season put out joint statements refuting the racism in Chris Harrison's actions. And it was like my Instagram was lighting up. It was like lighting up like Christmas. It's just like all of a sudden, all these people that we follow from Bachelor Nation are just like, nope. And it was powerful.
Okay, it only got 40,000 signatures.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I wish it got hundreds of thousands. That'd be dope.
Maybe there were two. Maybe. Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of Bachelor Diversity petition, which was also an incredible petition if you haven't signed that
And that made waves.
And that's the thing at the end of the day. Becca and I were talking a little bit off camera about how, I know a lot of people right now are talking about boycotting Bachelor and watching, like, at least maybe for the rest of the season or until they officially fire Chris Harrison or whatever. And definitely understand that 100%. But at the same time, you're like, these conversations that the show also helps like start, and now on these bigger platforms that movement is happening and change is happening.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, please. No, go ahead. No, I was just going to say, and by the way, if you want to talk about the difference between accountability and cancel culture, the Bachelorettes, who, again, I talked about this on the last episode, but Michaela, who came on our show, who did getting called in and called out, had one of the videos they post go viral. Yeah. And it was so
millions of views.
Yeah, and it was so incredible. And they have a whole little like a swipe through about the difference between accountability and cancel culture. And
I just want to say this too. Gotta go on a little rant right now because I'm a fifth into my vodka grapefruit. It just drives me fucking nuts because I don't want to make this about like a right versus left, Republican versus Democrat. I don't want to make it that kind of thing. But there are like certain types of people who, like, if someone like, okay, if like a black person gets fired from their job or gets, shot by police, etc., are immediately going, well, what did they do? What's the backstory? What happened? Like, maybe they did something to like deserve that. I don't even have to go into why all of that's problematic. Like, there are black people who literally like lose their jobs for like wearing their hair natural and shit like that. Like, states are just now enacting laws to like protect that from happening. Like in 2020 and 2021. Okay. I never hear that group of people saying shit about that. But then suddenly, those by the way, like let's say this is just one example. Like I said, black people who lose their jobs because of their natural hair. Then you have this man who has made millions of dollars from a franchise, and suddenly you're so worried about preserving his job, about making sure, oh my God, he doesn't deserve that. No, I'm sorry. When you are making multiple lifetimes worth of fortunes, like he could live like, I don't know, 20 lives, 100 lives comfortably with the money that he's making. We know how he's making tens of millions of dollars every year.
Oh, absolutely. And he signed on again recently. Like, so that they definitely upped that pay.
100%.
Yeah.
It's the top reality TV show in America. Your job should be skating on thin ice.
Correct.
If you say some shit that doesn't represent the franchise's values or whatever, you should be axed. Because that's the weight of the job you hold. Why are you so worried about protecting this fucking multi-millionaire old white dude who doesn't give a shit about what he said? Why are you worried about protecting his job? And I can only, this is going on a completely different rant, but I can only assume it's because there's this quote from someone that I'm going to botch where it's like, the reason socialism never caught on in the United States is because everyone thinks that they're just temporarily embarrassed millionaires.
I've seen that.
And I can't help but think that these people are defending Chris Harrison and being like, oh my God, he shouldn't lose his job, because they hope that one day they'll be in the same position he is, making millions of dollars, cruising along, say whatever racist shit you want, excusing any racist shit you want. No, his job should be held to the highest standard because he is in one of the highest pay grades in the country. And if you have outrage over him losing his job, I want to see your outrage over, like I said, for just one example, that is a big example, of like black people not being able to wear their natural hair to a job, or women not being able to wear like long nails. And you go, oh, well, that's just what the job requires. Yeah, what the job requires when you're representing a whole franchise is to not make an asshat out of yourself defending racist behavior. And that's what I have to say about that.
I loved that rant so much.
Okay. Anyway, that's all. It's bullshit. And you all sound like idiots defending him. You sound like fucking morons. I'm sorry.
Go off. Because
And immediately posted that statement, fucking white women in the comments being like, you did nothing wrong.
So broads, if you don't know, Chris Harrison posted that like half-assed, it's not half-assed, it's some bullshit fake apology. I'm sorry. But
just a PR statement, which to me is nothing.
A PR statement. But
it's just a PR statement.
The contestants started to post, and they posted joint statements, and then numerous people from Bachelor Nation started to come out and basically like refute and say no. Now, I know a lot of people, and I've seen this conversation getting, thrown around, like people felt pressured to say something. Okay, cool. Good. Because you know what happened? You know what happened is the pressure was put on Mike Fleiss or whoever that Chris Harrison had to then put out a statement that said, I'm choosing. Yeah, sure. I'm sure that looked like he wasn't kicking and screaming his way out. I'm choosing to remove myself for the rest of this time, for the rest of this season, and I won't be on after the final rose. The job needs to, he needs to be fired.
Like I said, he should be held to the utmost highest standard.
Correct. But point is because people were being vocal, this happened. Mm-hmm. So that's just an example.
Yeah, the people are being heard.
Yep. But then, like you said, I then went into his comment section when he posted that, and it was just like the amount of racism and Karens and just honestly defensive bad behavior. And I put it on my stories, and I'll say it again. Why do we teach our children that our actions and our words have consequences? You can't tell your there's just we teach our children every day that words and actions have weight and have consequences. And so yeah, when you fuck up, you don't get grace and compassion in your job. Mm-hmm. You get fucking fired. That's what happens to normal people all the time. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people deserve to be canceled. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not saying he necessarily deserves to be like canceled. I don't know what I think about all that. I don't know. But like cancel culture, no, it's just consequence culture that we've always fucking had, or we should have always had, and we haven't, because misogyny and sexual assault and racism have all let old wealthy white men keep their jobs for years and years, and it's time for that to change. And so call it cancel culture if you want. I don't give a fuck, as long as people are getting consequences that they deserve for their actions. But that's the problem, is that people think that these aren't the consequences that he deserves because they don't think what he did was wrong, which goes back to their own deeply ingrained racist beliefs. And and they say, oh, I'm not a racist, but this is okay. Sorry, one more small side note. No, please go.
I was having a conversation with someone, and they were saying, shout out if you're listening to this, love you. Like, I don't believe there's a racist bone in my body. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? That's not the goal. The goal is not that we don't have a racist bone in our body, because we've all grown up in a culture and a country that was founded on racism, that has racism ingrained in our systems, in our institutions, in the subliminal messaging we've gotten on shows like The Bachelor and in every other part of pop culture and media. So the goal isn't to like pretend like we're not racist. The goal is to dig deep and say, where do these racist roots lie, and be able to spot them, and then be able to see them in our own behavior so that we can make changes. Because as long as you sit there with your hands over your eyes going, I am not racist at all, you're just going to continue to uphold a system that was founded upon that thing that you claim to not be a part of.
Yep.
And you're going to keep going to Southern antebellum balls, and you're going to keep saying that it's all fun and games to attend one of those, and so on and so forth. I'm done. I'm actually done.
No, thank you so much for those rants. They were some of my favorite rants.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
With peace and love, though, of course, guys, with peace and love.
But
with love and light.
We have now found out.
Okay. So
we have now found out that Chris Harrison is removing himself for the rest of the season, which, by the way, I don't even know what the fuck that means, because
there's literally like one episode.
Well, it's literally him with After the Final Rose. They already filmed Women
What if they like blurred his face on the rest of the episodes?
I was waiting for this recap. I was just like, what if they blur that man out? They just put a censored box over his face. God bless. Thank you.
Honestly, I would not miss him. I'm so over him. He's so... Ugh.
Yep. Nope. And so we will not have him on After the Final Rose, which leads the question, who, my friends?
JoJo! Just kidding.
I mean...
Whatever.
Seems not fine enough, but fine enough would be what I would say. Ben
Higgins, are you coming? Oh my God, I forgot to tell you. I've been DMing with Ben and he said he's 100% down to come on.
For real?
Yeah.
Yes.
He gave me his email so we could set up the episode. He said he's super down.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I have so many questions for the son of Chris Harrison.
Yeah.
I wonder how he's doing right now. But I'm so excited. Okay, that's good. That's
so
good.
Anyway,
okay.
who will take his seat though?
Well, Ben wouldn't surprise me. I have a very strong feeling that Rachel will say absolutely not. Which
you think?
I feel like at this point she said on her podcast Higher Learning, she said that she's going to be like removing herself from the franchise.
Good for her.
Yeah, she's done.
We'll miss you so much.
I know we're gonna miss you so much, but like.
Oh my God. Also, we have to talk about real quick what you sent me, which was a little clip of Brian.
Do you mean
her husband?
Do you know you mean what like made my Valentine's Day?
It was actually extremely cute.
It was like, let's talk about love right now. This is so beautiful.
Brian was like defending her on Mike Johnson's podcast.
It's Brian and Mike's podcast.
Oh, what?
Actually.
I didn't even know.
So yeah, yes, I know.
When do we get to come on?
Hello.
Mike.
So Brian and Mike have a podcast. But it's a Bachelor Nation podcast, just like Bachelor Happy Hour.
So are we allowed on?
I don't think so. Probably not. We're probably been banned from that too.
Probably.
But on this Bachelor Nation podcast, Brian is going off about Chris Harrison. And
wait, so is Rachel going to keep doing Bachelor Happy Hour with it, which is Bachelor Nation?
I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe not. I don't know.
Damn. Anyway.
But Brian was just going off, and he was like, you know what sent me? He's like, when he said, "Who the hell are you?" And he said, "Do you know who the hell that is? That's Rachel motherfucking Lindsay." And I was just like, ah! Like it was so.
And then he kept going.
And then he kept going,
like,
and he was like,
best thing to ever happen to the franchise.
And it was so true too. And you just saw like the love, and like he was just so.
Dude,
can you imagine?
I guess I missed that in the interview too, of him saying he was saying like, who the hell are you to judge? Is that what he was saying?
Yes,
in the context?
and he said her name.
Who the hell are you, Rachel?
Yeah. I mean, big buy. That's a fantastic pod. Just also the one with Mike and Brian, because Mike is oh God, I love Mike so much. Love Brian so much.
I want to get to know Brian more because we didn't get to know him in the season because we were too focused on Peter Gaptooth Krause.
Yes, we didn't get to know Brian, and honestly, via this podcast, gotten to know Brian a little bit, and I didn't expect anything but wonderful considering that.
By the way, I said Peter Gaptooth Krause. I meant to say Peter Sexy Gaptooth Krause. Like I wasn't saying like that as a diss, by the way.
No, he has the hottest mouth I've ever seen.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, so. I didn't see much of Brian's though. I want to know more about him.
He is absolutely wonderful. And anyways, so my initial thought, I was like, what if they got Mike and Brian to do like a duo? Or what if they do a duo for the After the Final Rose? Will they have Becca K come on? Becca K and Mike Johnson?
That's fun.
That would be fun.
That's fun.
Right?
I like that.
I'm just thinking the two Bachelor Nation podcasts, perhaps.
And me.
Well, obviously, Queen. We're waiting for this.
That's actually a really fun combo. I like that idea. Mike and Becca, that's cool.
I like the idea.
It's edgy, it's fun.
Because obviously we say #Fire Chris Harrison, who is going to be the new host, and I would love a duo.
A girl and a girl and a guy.
Yes, I would love a duo. I would
just
love
like
a duo.
Love Is Blind with the
just
duo
like
that was Nick Lachey and Vanessa. Quarantine broads, if you know, you know.
But wouldn't a duo be fun?
That's a really good idea. Do you think they both have it in them to be hosts of the show?
Becca K and Mike Johnson?
Yeah. I don't. I'm not saying because I just don't know.
I've never seen them like. Well, no. I guess Becca K did
What about Colton?
I don't know what it was. I don't know why for a second, like, I thought you were serious and my whole body shuddered. Do you know who wants to be a host? Is Tasha. I forgot. I saw her post the other day that she'd like her dream.
They might have her fill in. They might have her. That seems super realistic.
My nipples
to
are
me.
hard. Oh!
That seems super realistic to me, actually.
Did you see Tasha and Zach's post during Valentine's Day?
Actually, so I got I'm now doing like no social media Sundays. I got back on Monday. Theirs was the first photo that popped up on my feed. Like, I was like, triple tap. I wish I could super like this. If I save it, in a folder, Tasha and Zach.
You're the one running their fan accounts.
Like 5 of them with different handles. Oh my God. What was I going to look up? You just reminded me of something. Don't remember.
Tasha, Bachelor Happy Hour, Mike Johnson.
Oh, Colton. I see where he is now.
Jeez. I think he's posting. He went dark and then he's now was posting again random random animal photos. It's
on
like
Instagram?
Correct.
No, I'm scared. That's scary. That's scary. That's
on
scary.
his
That's
Insta
scary.
stories.
Okay.
He took away all his posts and then his first few posts back were a couple animals and it's just like, are you not going to address what happened?
I don't. I think he's unwell.
Anywho,
clearly.
So that was
okay.
A little bit of a Chris Harrison rant, and I just want to say I'll tell you this much, B. The Bachelor podcast crews, those involved in Bachelor podcasts. I mean, like,
okay, wait. When you said cruise, I thought you meant CRUISE, and I'm like, why hasn't there been a Bachelor cruise yet?
Moneymakers.
That seems like a really good idea post-COVID.
That would actually be a
I'm
great
sorry.
idea. It would be like, maybe, what if they did Bachelor in Paradise on a cruise ship?
Are we big enough yet to do Chatty Broad's cruise?
Don't tempt me. I've never been on a cruise before.
I kind of hate them.
What if we did it and I was like, we were able to figure that out, that we could make that happen, and I was radically seasick the whole time and I would have no idea.
It's a little weird. You are walking down like the hallway and all of a sudden it'll just very slightly tilt.
Yeah. I don't
live
a little
for
bit
that.
Like
a fun house.
Don't live for
slightly, but just so slightly. Like I was running on the treadmill one time and just suddenly I realized I was running off the treadmill to the side.
When you said fun house, I felt like the whole room started like moving and I was just like, nope, no thank you.
Anyways,
the Bachelor podcast, like all the different Bachelor podcasts, I just have to say, like, there were so many different podcasts that were putting out like really amazing episodes covering having these great conversations. I say great, but like powerful conversations about systemic racism. Like this is the thing. And I know, like, again, I know people were talking about boycotting the show, which if you want to boycott it, like massive respect completely. Like that makes total sense to me. But seeing all of a sudden all these Bachelor podcasts of all things, Bachelor, having these conversations that are so necessary to be having was really powerful to me. So,
well,
just shout out to all those
they
podcasts.
did in the podcast, they have made sure to have like Black representation in every one of their like host pairings.
Oh, you're talking about the Bachelor podcast, like the Bachelor Nation podcast. Yeah.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I was talking about Bachelor Nation in particular. And it's like, see, when you have representation, you have conversation about people's experiences.
That too. I'm talking about even just all the different podcasts that do Bachelor Nation content. It's like all these podcasts and conversations were happening and people were signing the petition, and here we are.
Well, all right.
Anywho, we're gonna be recapping the rest of this season, but we're gonna be still having these conversations and keeping tabs on this whole Fire Chris Harrison situation, and we'll be regularly throwing that petition up. Let's get that petition to like 100K.
Yeah,
I thought it was.
I signed it.
Absolutely, baby.
I made like 3 more accounts to sign it with it. No, I didn't. But I guess I should.
You're just
make fake accounts, guys. I'm encouraging forgery. Put in your mom's name, your dad's name, your family.
Honest to God, just be like, oh, it's my birthday's coming up.
Send
you want to do something for
chat.
me?
Yeah, hey guys.
Just
I know you don't watch this show, but please just do.
Just sign.
Anyways,
okay, so before we dive into this recap of the latest episode of this show,
a quick
Do you want to take a quick pause?
Yes, I'm ready.
So, broads, you know what? Here's the thing. I love a cat. I do. Cats are kind of the energy I am looking to exude, especially in 2021, like so luxurious, so mysterious. But I will say owning a cat and knowing they are mysterious can be, I would assume, a bit frightening when it comes to illness.
Yeah, cats are the kind of animals where they'll just crawl under something and you won't see them. And
well, that's apparently of all the domestic animals, cats are the most notorious for being able to hide when they're sick.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So listen, you don't want to have to wonder when it comes to your furry friend not feeling well, right? Well, Pretty Litter takes some of the mystery out of just how your cat is feeling.
This is really important, actually. I do have 2 cats, and I have to say the coolest thing I've seen in a long time is Pretty Litter. This is really important too because, well, I'll tell you. Pretty Litter actually changes color to help detect early signs of potential illness, including urinary tract infections and kidney issues. And Grayson's old cat almost passed away from having a urinary tract infection. So being able to just see that that's happening like that, very important. It's a relief knowing that if there is an issue, I'm going to see it early enough to get them to the vet, and I don't have to worry about how they're feeling. So they're also ultra absorbent crystals. So Pretty Litter traps odor instantly and lasts up to a month. I swear some of the grocery store litter brands don't mask smells at all, at all. Or you have to change it twice a day.
Constantly.
Oh God. With Pretty Litter, you won't even know that you have a litter box unless you see it.
I can actually attest to that because sometimes I forget that you even have cats, which apparently the internet feels like that as well. Because Pretty Litter,
it's all a sham.
Yeah, but there's never any little kitty prints around the house. And Pretty Litter is delivered right to your front door in a small, super lightweight bag, and shipping is always free. I don't even have to know to have a cat how big and heavy tubs of litter can be. I used to help my stepmom do that sometimes.
Oh my God.
Those are hefty.
No, seriously. Getting your workout in. Not with Pretty Litter.
Not with Pretty Litter.
Your cat deserves the best. Your cat deserves the world's smartest kitty litter. Do what I did and make the switch to Pretty Litter today by visiting prettylitter.com and use promo code CHATTY for 20% off your first order. That's prettylitter.com, promo code CHATTY for 20% off. prettylitter.com, promo code CHATTY.
All right, broads. Well, this brand we have been screaming about from the rooftops for literal years. Now, listen, it's because we both experienced its absolute amazingness and we just had to shout about it.
I miss my bed just thinking about that.
I'm so sleepy all of a sudden. And I bought it for my family for Christmas, actually immediately afterwards because it was just too good and I became the best family member ever. And we are talking about Ettitude, the best bedding in the entire world. Nothing has ever been more comfortable. It is a sleepy time miracle.
Bless. That's correct. And their organic bamboo, which is the most resource efficient plant on the planet. And it's so soft, it feels like silk.
It
Gray
really does.
Immediately was like, what are these sheets? As he's naked doing
slipping
angels.
Lotion,
yeah. Snow angels on the bed. Yeah. Hands down, I get the best night's sleep when I have Ettitude sheets on my bed, and their I have their comforter sham or whatever it's called, and I love it. Like I said, they're soft as heck. It's my number one priority. They're also hypoallergenic, antibacterial, toxin-free, and temperature regulating, which is great if you're a warm sleeper like me that wakes up in pools of sweat. Normally, not with Ettitude.
100%. That was a game changer for me. When I sleep in other materials, I wake up throughout the night feeling like I'm going to melt.
Well, you have melted, yeah.
Yes, I literally am
sleeping
a puddle.
on top of, yeah.
Yes, but that's never ever happened with Ettitude. Ettitude is so confident you'll get your best night's sleep. You can try any of their bedding for 30 nights, and if you're not completely satisfied, you can return it for a full refund, no questions asked.
And right now, you can get 20% off your order plus free shipping when you visit ettitude.com/chattybroads. Enter promo code chattybroads. Remember, that's Ettitude as in eco attitude.
Yes.
Ettitude. Head to ettitude.com/chattybroads and enter promo code chattybroads to get 20% off your first order. That's attitude with an E.
Ettitude, baby. So should we just hop right in? Because guess what I didn't realize, Becca? Guess what I didn't realize is that next week is hometowns, apparently? What's happening?
The girls didn't know. I'm telling you, at the beginning of this episode, when Heather is there, the girls are like, there's still 2 more weeks. You know what, though?
Have they ever done this before this quickly? Just been like, whoop.
You know what, though? I get why they said 2 weeks. There's 2 more rose ceremonies, but they did 2 rose ceremonies in one episode, actually. That just clicked in my brain. They did 2 rose ceremonies this episode. And technically, the time between each rose ceremony is a week in Bachelor world.
Got it.
So that's why the girls
it.
were saying it's 2 weeks until hometowns.
Okay.
Yeah. And
they're
also,
just like throwing them for a loop. By the way,
when they were saying that they've been there, actually, at that point, they might have been there for 6 weeks. But just because they say that they're in week 6, that doesn't mean they've been there for actual 6 weeks.
Got it. They just like, they're been hearing that number. So they know it's like, oh, this is week 6. This is week 6. Okay. Yeah, I was just like, huh?
They might have been there for 6 weeks.
For some reason, because there were like 8 people left plus, or however many, like 11 when it first started. I was like, we have numerous weeks left until hometowns. Like, what is happening? So here we are. And of course, Heather then is just showing up right before hometowns, apparently, like the final week before hometowns. So Heather, and I know we discussed this for a minute last week, but I just have to reinstate that Matt's reaction to Heather walking in, I will never get over it.
I would die if I were her.
I didn't realize until rewatching it that he looked like he was about to start crying. His eyes were filled with tears. And I don't know if it was because of the explosion of laughter that happened, or if he was crying because he's like, I'm so tired, no more peoples. Please. My Lord. Well,
What a rough time.
She shows up and, everyone's freaking out, but she's just explaining to him that like Hannah Brown basically convinced her to show up.
Oh my God. It's so funny because every time they've talked about her and Hannah Brown, I just have this vision and I know it's how it actually is. And it's like when you're in junior high and you're like,
yep.
And Hannah's being like, oh my God, no, girl, I know him. And I just know, like, he is your person.
Like,
and Heather's like, oh my God, like, should I do it? Heather? And they've had a couple glasses of wine and Hannah's like, I am texting the producers right now.
Yeah,
I'm texting whoever right now.
Like,
I'm texting Rob. Like,
1000%. They were sitting together drinking wine one night and be like, oh my God, you know what I'm just thinking of? Heather, I never thought of this. You and Matt, it would be perfect together.
No, but also when we talked about like remember last episode when we talked about them FaceTiming, Heather being like, hi, Matt.
100%. Is there an earthquake happening right now? Or am I losing it? No, okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I think I like moved this.
No, whenever you move your side of the couch, I've said that multiple times. I go, I think it's an earthquake. And it's because you shift and then the couch moves and then you're like, and then it throws us back to the time when we were actually sitting in here during an earthquake. We have PTSD.
I mean, honestly, I really do. And I am waiting for the big one. You know I am. So I'm just every time.
Okay, can I tell you something? Taylor, my friend who you know, Broads, yes, you don't know her.
Love her.
We used to go to her church when we were like in junior high. And her pastor talked about something that he called the mercy shake. And that it was going to be like this big earthquake in California that he is like, it was like about God's wrath, but also God's mercy. And so to this day, we're still like, the mercy shake, like it's coming.
Well, let me tell you, it is coming.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
And I keep thinking it's happening because of myself shaking this couch.
Yeah, because it like shifts in your peripheral vision. Yes, like it's a little sus. Okay, so anyway.
Yeah. Pardon me, Broads.
Yeah, them FaceTiming.
Yeah, no, it's well, and then Matt was kind of laughing too in the conversation because he was like, I know I've never like met you before, but like you're like, yeah, they definitely FaceTimed. And she says in it, she's like, and I realized, that maybe we would be right together and you just seemed so wonderful that I booked a red eye and I showed up here. And I heard someone else interviewed at some point over the week, I forget because just so much happened. But they're really holding to the fact that Heather
just showed
up. And like, obviously she was in contact with the producers, but that it was definitely like,
maybe the producers legit were like, you got to pay your own ticket. You got to rent your own car.
Yeah, if you want to come. Can you imagine?
I believe it. Honestly, I believe it. I really, really do. I believe that they told her, like, Heather, don't come. And they're like, fine. All right, whatever. We'll add some drama to the season. Sure. Yeah.
If they really did tell her not to come and they made her pay for her hotel and pay for that minivan, can you imagine how devastating him telling her to leave was?
Girl. you look like a fool. What were you expecting?
I mean, you are here late. And
I just keep having visions of like the FaceTime and like her being also like, okay, it's time for just me and Matt to talk, and like them being both kind of buzzed like in different time zones, and him being like, hey Heather, like just her, and she's like, what'd you do today, babe? Like that kind of thing, and he's just going along with it. And he's like, it's Heather, whatever.
Oh gosh.
I keep envisioning that. Like,
I will say that I do not believe that they have never spoken. When I say face to face, I mean FaceTime to FaceTime. Like I don't believe that
100%.
They 100%. There's no way. You could tell by the energy.
Like more than once.
Yes.
Like this is an ongoing almost joke.
Yes. This wasn't a first time.
Where Heather calls him her husband. You know, like you do in junior high. You're like, oh my God, Matt made me my husband.
Yes. And obviously, she was really upset when she came back because we got Dylan Barber's reaction that apparently was based around the fact that he said that like production messed with Heather. So you wonder.
Oh God, shut up, Dylan.
I know, Dylan. But you wonder if like maybe they said no, but then, you know, they were doing the typical like, you know, he's probably gonna be really excited to see you. In fact, like maybe he mentioned your name, perhaps, blah blah blah. And then she's getting more and more psyched and doing her pizza dances. No,
they do even vaguer stuff. It would be like anything could happen. Like you never know.
With a twinkle in their eye. Well, anything did not happen because.
My God, you know what did happen?
Becca.
Heather was bullied out of house and home.
Okay. I'll tell you this. I felt disappointed.
You know I don't use the word bully. You know I'm the first to be like, she wasn't bullied. Yeah, they just threw all her bags out of the window, but that wasn't bullying. Like I'm the first person to be like, that's not bullying, and be a bitch about it. She was bullied.
I was really bummed out because like it is a group full of now mostly like women that I really like, and I felt like it was so inappropriate the way that she was spoken to. It was like, okay, so I understand at this point they've literally dealt with crazy drama every few seconds.
Not Heather's fault.
It's a nightmare, and I get being on edge for sure.
Bro,
and
they made her cry.
But and I would have cried too if I was Heather.
Me too.
I would have cried too. There was just like, even if you're so like over it and you're just like, who I was really shocked by was Jessenia. I was like, now, granted, I understand that she just
group mentality, man.
Yeah, it's like I get that she just dealt with MJ, and so she's just probably so fried. And then all of a sudden, now Serena C was like coming for Katie and like doing that, and everyone's exhausted. But considering how Jessenia had responded to MJ previously, she was probably just like, I just got MJ out of the house. Who are you? Who is this new blonde girl? Because MJ just got sent out. But it wasn't cool.
Dude, when they all knew what season she was on, it was like, what season are you on? And that kind of shit was just so crazy, like passive aggressive and just straight up aggressive.
Yeah, it wasn't.
They were just coming for her.
Yeah.
She literally walked in the room, didn't even have a chance to sit down, and they were all sitting there just being like,
what did Serena say?
You're the stupidest looking person I've ever seen in my goddamn life. Like that was
the energy was like that. The energy was like that.
Lord.
But what did Jessenia said? Okay. So the comment that really bothered me was when they brought up the fact that she was from Colton's season. Jessenia made some comment that was like, oh, so you messed that one up, so now you want to try this one. And it was like, that's really mean.
What?
Like especially like Heather, like, you know, I'm not a Heather fan. Do not get me wrong. Yeah, but Heather's not.
We're acting like we're stans or something here. I mean, obviously we're not, but
Heather's just that's not nice.
I mean, come on. It's like, yeah, she may be annoying. It might be annoying that she's showing up, whatever, but she didn't deserve any of that.
No, and I think there needs to be an understanding if you're coming in and you're Heather, like, girlfriend, you better expect and believe that these women are going to not be your friend.
Yeah, like, you're not going to get the most warm welcome.
No, they're going
but
to be.
But I also think there was no way she could be Sorry, continue.
No. I was fully in agreement. Like, I would expect if I was Heather, I'm walking in, no one's gonna be my friend, everyone's gonna be cold, and honestly, don't blame them because I would be the exact same way. And you'd think that going in. But if I was Heather, I would have been so shocked at the response, which she seemed so just like, holy
thrown back
shit.
Because oh God, I just put ice in my mouth. I'm so sorry. Broads, hold on.
Oh my God. All of a sudden, there's just so many one stars. Everyone's just like, my ears, stop.
She's been on a season before and has gone far. So I'm sure she expected that there would be some pushback.
Of course.
I think she had no. You know what? On her season though, there was not. We've talked about this recently.
There wasn't a lot of drama.
There was like. Yeah, Demi, where there was like some drama with her and the age thing with what's her.
But it was more nothing. Like fun and like whatever. And now her and Tracy, Demi and Tracy are literal best friends, which cracks me up. Oh, that's so funny. It's so funny.
There was also like, you know, the Kaylin and Hannah drama, but there was no real craziness. No. And so I think she was just not prepared.
No, she was not ready. Thing. It was like if they would have dropped her in Peter's season.
Worse. Was so much worse. I don't know. I firmly,
let me tell you, I firmly believe that if the women of Peter's season were put in one hotel for 6 weeks, they would have caught the place on fire. Like, let's be real. The women from Peter's season were traveling. They've been in the COVID times, are stuck in having to quarantine, can't get out, like no movement. The women of Peter's season would have burned Nima Cole into the ground. They would have sacrificed Chris Harrison.
They would have all eaten Matt. Like they would have probably sacrificed him and then been like, divide him up amongst us. Like if we shall all consume him. And they would have done some crazy ritualistic sacrifice. Peter
and they would have put like
it would have been crazy.
Yes. So that's that. But it was hard. I did really feel for her. And then Serena C tells her to like talk about it in an ITM, like talk about it in an interview or go cry about it in an interview, Heather.
Because I don't want to hear about it right now. And Heather's just like, okay, I will. Like, I don't care. Like, all right. Give me a producer.
Is it to the right? Is it to the left? Okay. Oh my God. Wildness. Absolute wildness.
Obviously.
Well, then, by the way, Chris Harrison does show up at one point, and Becca and I kept looking at each other, and we're like, does he know what's coming? Because he looks very sad in this episode.
He looks tired? He looks worn.
Yes. I kept getting this very much like ghost of Christmas yet to come energy. Like he could feel like the Grim Reaper behind him, just like he knew what was coming.
Yeah. So, I mean, Matt talks to her. We already saw most of that last episode. Matt then talks to Chris. The thing that threw me off is that they were trying to make it like in his conversation with Chris seemed like he was actually considering keeping her.
Oh, and I mean, let's be real. Like
that wasn't happening.
We all knew that Matt knows better than that. Like that would have really shocked me if he would have made that call.
That he was not interested in pursuing a relationship with her.
No. And he shuts that down.
And she gets right back in that minivan.
And he said at one point, he was just like, and she rented that freaking minivan to come see me. He literally said she rented that minivan to come see me.
Do you think they cut that out when they were talking of her being like, I paid for my flight, I rented the minivan. Like
I think she alluded to it. And then he said that. Cringe, and he's just kind of like, she rented that minivan? Embarrassing. Have you seen the car I've been driving? If you're going to show up, Heather, show up in whatever G-Wagon or whatever Matt's in.
That is so sad. He's like,
I know. It all just made me feel so
he's taking after Kit. He's all rideshare vibes.
He just becomes Kit and he's just like, where's your golden Bentley? Where's your Porsche? But yeah.
And you know me still holding out on my conspiracy theory. I'm like, because all the girls are like, or he goes and talks to the women. I don't want to hit all this point for point, but this was funny to me. He goes and talks to the women. He's like, oh, like I promise this won't ever happen again. And one of the girls is like, can we get that in writing or something? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, is this Sarah's mask? I want to believe.
Listen,
spoke on it with such conviction.
Honest to God, I refuse that we will forever believe. And she did come back and they cut it out. What if she comes
back as the host?
Can you imagine?
What if she did come back and they cut it out? That's entirely possible.
I'm sorry. There's a lot that's been cut out of this season. There was like scenes where JoJo, I believe, showed up. Tayshia showed up. They cut all that shit out. And in fact, when we go to talk about the group date later, they just had a night portion of a group date. I'm assuming there was a day portion that we didn't see that they cut out. They're cutting out like crazy. So maybe Sarah did come back, even though I would assume they did. She would have showed that. But I'm going to choose to believe that she did and that it was a whole thing. And
maybe
we were right.
Still will. I'm still holding out hope.
Just the final two.
I was in the bathroom.
He proposes to her.
It's possible that she comes in the final two and she shows up and it's just like, I just would never forgive myself if I didn't blah, blah, blah bullshit. And then, rose ceremony.
Yeah, which also I do want to say, I thought that it was very lovely when Matt came back. He did, that he right away says, he's like, you all are the ones giving me energy. And he apologized for taking up the time. And then he then specifically apologized to Piper. Yeah. And was like, so sorry, let's go talk, and made good on when he said, I'm gonna come see you afterwards.
Love
and
that.
We appreciate that about Matt.
I don't know why everyone gives him so much shit. I like him.
I know, I can't help but like him.
I mean, I know there's there's some valid reasons why people give him shit. But otherwise people are like, he's falling in love with everyone, like whatever. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
he's putting his heart into it and being vulnerable. No holds barred. What do you guys want from him?
Any of my issues with Matt have nothing to do with that he's falling in love with 100 people.
And then he's going to pick Rachel, the southern plantation belle of the ball.
Don't say that.
No, he's picking her. 100%.
Don't say that. Oh. I can't even go there.
By the way, I have no reality Steve intel or anything. I just believe that wholeheartedly.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll get into that at some other point. I mean, I do feel like him and Michelle have crazy chemistry.
I feel that, but I still think he's gonna choose Rachel.
I just don't even know if that ends up happening, and it's even she's just in the top two. I don't know. I just don't want to be recapping it. Anyways.
I know. Anyways. So, rose ceremony.
Yep, Matt.
Axes Serena and Chelsea. God, I miss Chelsea already.
I know.
Didn't see much of her, though.
And we were really kind of starting to get to know her. That was the whole thing.
Serena, I could do without.
I did feel good for Katie for the moment to know that, at least, Serena then left and there was justice because she then got sent home. But yeah, we're left with the remaining ladies. He gave Rose, Brie, Rachel, Serena P, Kit, and Abigail.
Let's talk about Serena P's one-on-one.
Oh my God. Okay. Everybody, what in the world? The date card comes and Abigail and Jessenia haven't gotten one-on-ones and Serena P gets another one? Has that ever happened before?
Dude, on Ari's season, Lauren Lyondike, at that time, Lauren Burnham got back-to-back one-on-one dates. We're recapping it right now on Gray and I's Patreon. She got a date in Paris and she got a date. She got a date in Paris and then she got a date in Italy the very next week. And Kendall was actually the first contestant in history to go to hometowns, having never had a one-on-one.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. So,
Kendall.
Oh my God. There's actually a crazy moment. I'm sorry, I gotta talk about it for a second. There's a crazy moment we just recapped on oh my God, dude. There's a crazy moment. I don't remember when I first watched the season where in Florida, Ari's talking to Kendall and Ari's all, twirling her hair, being like, And Kendall's literally like, I've never had a relationship last more than 8 months. I don't know if I'm actually ready for marriage. I've never really had a serious long-term relationship before. And Ari's like, I love that. And makes out with her. He doesn't actually say I love that. And then immediately cuts to a scene with me and him where he's like, I'm just worried that you're not ready for marriage. He was interested in some sweets.
Yep.
Called the fantasy sweets.
Yes. The overnight, as they're calling it now, apparently.
Oh, the overnight dates.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what they're referring to them now.
Overnight.
Overnight. It's like, okay. It's just we all know what you're talking about.
The sex week. The sex week.
The boom boom room.
Oh my God. Anyways. The whoopee.
The pleasure palace.
I was trying to think of something to go along with the whoopee. The whoopee.
I don't know what.
We made whoopee. You know?
Can you imagine a contestant coming out afterwards in ITMs the next day and be like, I had such a great time with Matt. We made whoopee.
I would boycott the show. That would get me there.
You're like, none of this other stuff is getting me there, but someone says that.
Whoopee?
Well,
the whoopee bungalows. Okay, so anyway,
everyone,
so it's a move to give Serena.
I mean, and obviously, like, there's no way that he's making this choice, right? This is producers.
Yeah,
he's there. I mean, he wouldn't. That seems pretty that seems pretty blatant to be like, hey, I know two of you haven't gotten it, and I'm gonna really piss you off by giving Serena P another date.
But clearly, he didn't want to give it to Abigail.
I know.
And then he did give the other one to Jessenia.
And he really didn't clearly wanted to give it to Jessenia either.
His only choice were women that he'd already gone on one-on-ones with.
So is Serena his favorite?
I don't know.
Well, I would freak out if I was one of the other girls. I would be so angry. That would be what would send me over the edge. I'd be like, I can deal with all this drama, but like at this point now, you're going to give the one-on-one to someone else who's already had it. It would send me over the edge.
When that happened with Lauren, I was like, I don't remember. Me being the conspiracy theorist, I just had all these theories. I was like, this is part of the plan. Like, he's going to send her home. This is mind fuckery to try to get us tricked. Like, I was like,
you had like all the strings
pins,
attached to whatever, and you're like, don't worry, ladies.
Yeah, no, literally, that was me. Crystal, I remember one time in Paris, she was like, I just noticed, like, he's really into Lauren. And I was like, I don't think so. Nope.
It shan't be true.
Picks her in the end, is married to her, has children with her. Yeah, no, I was like, nope. Anyway, okay, so back one-on-one.
Well,
she gets... God,
dude, which by
another
the way,
non-consensual physical encounter.
Dude, and I'm sorry, production knew this because it's always what someone is not comfortable
biggest
with.
Fear.
It's the typical. It's like with Fear Factor where you choose the people like that are the most scared of spiders and they fucking like
the person who's not into physical.
Like, are you joking?
Affection.
So you're gonna have another.
Force her to touch him in front of people.
The per usual tantric date that they always throw in, time. Which. I mean, I will say at first when this was happening, you and I were like oohing and awing.
Yeah, because they looked like stock photo images on like Shutterstock for tantric yoga couple.
It was professional.
They looked amazing.
Yogaing. Like they both are like so
flexible.
So flexible, so strong. I just couldn't even believe it. I was just like, this, I have never seen this before. Like in person, I've seen people do yoga like together and it has never looked this good. Like everyone's someone's always floundering a little bit, aka when I try to do with Evan for 2 seconds in our house.
Oh my god, no, that shit is just one big liability and a sprained ankle waiting to happen.
But they were just, it was looking like it was going.
They fooled me. And then she was in the ITM like, yeah, basically this is my worst date ever and I'm extremely uncomfortable with it.
And it was just like, are you kidding me? Like, you put her in this situation, you know that she's getting interviewed before, like, and I, obviously it was like for her sake, I wish that she would have been able to say before, like, I'm not going to, but I will say like,
or even just being able to whisper to Matt, like, I don't feel comfortable with this.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure he would have shut it down, but I understand.
Oh, being
in that position 100%.
But I have to say, like, I feel like, like I said, I wish for her sake that she would have been able to do that before. But I have to say, Serena P was an incredible picture and example of someone then communicating that they are not okay with something. Yeah. She immediately she immediately said to Matt, like, that was my first and last time. Like, I'm not into this. I don't want to do it again.
Yeah.
She literally cheers to not doing it again.
Yeah.
At one point, Matt, I was like, what are you doing again? Like, when he was just like, well, I liked this part. And I was like, just let it I know you're trying to.
Well, she was like, oh, you didn't feel, she was like, oh, you liked it? And he was like, yeah, like.
Yeah. I was just more like, don't try. He's like trying to get, and I get he was trying to say like looking into your eyes, but I was like, she just said she wasn't. I see what you're doing. I could obviously he was trying to make it clear to her that he
felt connected to her.
Felt connected,
like,
but when he did that, I was a little bit like, no, just whatever, don't do that.
Yeah, she was like, she was like,
are you going to do it again?
Yeah, and he was like, oh no, we don't have to do it again.
He was like, don't, Matt. She just said don't. Okay. Which he did communicate later that he was like, I really appreciate you communicating, and I don't want to ever make you feel uncomfortable and all that, but I really like her a lot.
I was just about to say that. I really like her too.
I have this feeling, and I feel like we still don't know everyone that well yet, but I have this feeling like she's probably the best for Matt.
Totally see
that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they're like the most into each other, but I feel like maybe she's like, would be like.
Who do you think he's the best for her though?
I don't know.
Who do you think are like the best for each other? I think him and Michelle.
Yeah, him and Michelle are so cute together. And they're so.
You're like whispering. They're so cute.
They're so cute. And I'm sorry.
Them. You know, breathy, weird.
But when we saw that clip of Michelle at the end of the episode, and she's so funny.
I need her to be my friend now.
I'm like, I'm forcing her to be with you. You're hilarious. She's literally in front of the camera being like,
and she's the one without the Instagram presence.
I know.
We love her. We stan a queen.
I know. She actually posted today for like the first time ever, and she was posting being like going back to school. Some of us aren't vaccinated. I mean, she is. We're just like, dude, Michelle.
Yeah, I really like her, and I liked her even more when I saw more of her personality. I gotta admit, I was like, whatever about her before, but saw more of her personality. I want to see more.
Well, so I'm trying to think. Serena P, yes.
Yeah, he applauded her honesty. Mm-hmm. That was sweet.
It was very sweet. I'm glad that he didn't push it farther.
Yeah, she gets
nice work, producers, putting her in that situation. Well, back at the house, we find out that there's going to be a group date, and Jessenia is going to have the one-on-one, and also we see that Abigail is struggling because she got, and I keep forgetting that she got the first impression rose, and it's like, I can't imagine being in the situation where I get the first impression rose, and you're like, I've got that locked in, and then that's all you have to hang on for the next 6 weeks or however long it is.
Actually torture.
That's torturous. Like, you're watching everyone else get the connections, but you have this hope in your heart where you're like, well, I got the first impression rose.
And a group date rose.
I
feel bad for her, for sure.
Ugh.
For sure.
The Abigail ending was rough. That was heartbreaking. And you knew that it was coming. You kept saying that it's going to happen. It's going to be heartbreaking. And it was.
I thought she was going to get farther. I did. I was very wrong. Very wrong.
Yeah.
Well, we skipped ahead to that.
Yeah.
But the group date where there was no group date. We see some clips.
Oh, no, the nighttime with Serena. That was the only other thing.
Oh, yeah. I thought that's what we were talking about when we were talking about him applauding her honesty.
Oh, yeah. So, no, sorry. Basically, that's how it ends. But then they have dual skating. That's really it. It was just a sweet conversation. You could tell that they like each other. They ice skate together, which was actually one of my favorite after dinner moments with their fake snow flurries. They were really, really making us fall in love with the two of them together. Yeah. Okay, before we get into the group date, that wasn't a group date. Should we take a quick pause?
Yeah, we should.
So, Broads, I know a lot of people had a cooking or baking phase of quarantine. And while I didn't go that far, I did have a cooking TV show phase of quarantine.
Love that phase.
Top Chef, Chef's Table, Great British Bake Off. I loved all of them. And one thing I learned from watching these shows is that a great knife is 50% of being a great cook, okay? Give or take, something like that, it's real important. All of this inspired me, of course, to really step up my knife game. Also, Evan had been begging for new knives because he's the one who cooks, and he's actually a very good cook. And so, I was very excited when I discovered the best kitchen tool, the Misen chef's knife.
Oh my God, I have this knife. And when I tell you it's the greatest thing I've got for my kitchen, I mean it, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I mean it. Literally, this is the one knife that replaces an entire set of knives. I love this thing. I love efficiency. I love the minimalism. Oh my God, it's got a sloped handle. I've never really seen that on a knife before, but it makes chopping a lot more efficient and a lot more safe. Thank God, because I got too many close calls with knives when I'm trying to chop something real quick. I think that I am on Top Chef.
Speedy.
Hell's Kitchen. Boom, boom, boom. Honestly, when you have a tool that actually works, it makes cooking so much more fun and enjoyable. So I actually look forward to trying new dishes now that I have my Misen knife. I love it.
If you're thinking what I thought, which is, but knives are so expensive, stop right there. The Misen is 2 to 3 times less expensive than other premium knives, and the quality is just as great. I'm a firm believer in looking to the reviews if you really want to know how a product works. And I would say that the 5,000 5-star reviews it has online are proof enough that the Misen really is the best knife on the market.
Step up your cooking game now. Chop, chop, chop. Head over to Misen.com/chatty for 20% off your first order. Misen.com/chatty. That is spelled MISEN.com/chatty. Misen, MISEN.com/chatty. Get your new knife.
Get your new knife. Broads, I believe there's 2 things that are always worth investing in. One is yourself, and the second is your living space. I slowly graduated from my parents' house to my first apartment, then on my own, to the home with my family. And trust me when I say there really is no better feeling than being proud of where you live, okay? But contrary to what I used to believe, having a nice living space doesn't mean you have to spend tons of money, at least not when you shop with Article.
You're right, because Article is your one-stop shop to make your interior design dreams a reality. They combine the curation of your favorite boutique furniture store with the ease and simplicity of shopping online. And like Jess said, the price is right when you shop at Article because they cut out the middleman and the costs of showrooms, so you can save up to 30% over traditional retail prices. Plus, you're going to get free shipping on orders over $999. You're going to get a super simple 30-day return policy, and all in-stock items are delivered in 2 weeks or less. That's really quick.
It's so fast for furniture. And I kid you not, the pieces I have from Article are some of my favorites in the whole house. And if interior design isn't your strong suit, even more reason to give Article a shot, okay? Their team of designers focus on only a handful of curated design aesthetics, meaning it's so easy to find styles and pieces that really work together for any space in your house. You can go on their website and you put anything together and it looks good together, which I struggle with. So I'm very grateful.
That's a good point.
Article with
You
this.
can mix and match everything.
Yeah.
Color, even the colors too. Yeah, they're all complimentary. Article is offering our listeners $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. Go to article.com/chatty and the discount will automatically be applied at checkout. That's article.com/chatty to get $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more.
All right. Well, then it was like you said, the group date that didn't really have the group date portion. It just went straight to the cocktail times. And okay, Lord. So Brie and Matt have a conversation. I think that was one of the most important conversations where Brie is opening up. She's crying, talking about the fact that she had to resign from her job to be there. She's bringing up her coming from a single mother and the importance of having that a job wanting to provide, and that this job was her dream and she had to resign from it. Okay. And Matt doesn't give her the group date rose.
He gives it to Rachel.
Do you see fire in my eyeballs? Because that was one of, I've been enjoying Matt, but that was one of the ones where I was like, dude, just come on.
But it's one of those things, if you're not feeling it as much with someone else, what, you're going to give someone a rose just because they lost their job?
I know, but he ended up giving it to Brie anyways.
I know, but
I don't know.
He had to follow his heart, okay? He had to follow his heart.
Oh, Lord.
So, and his heart is leading him to Rachel. Our favorite Southern belle. I keep doing this the rest of the season. I'm sorry.
I'm going to pass away.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, for real, like you can't just give someone like a pity rose.
I know, it was just unbelievable.
Like what? You're just gonna reward someone like you sacrificed so much, so no, you know?
True.
Like that's not what the show's about.
I know it is about following your heart. Apparently, his heart is leading him to Rachel.
Listen to your heart. And it's calling for you. Listen to your heart.
Hey, remember when Bachelor ABC did a show called Listen to Your Heart and they never sang that song?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Like, come on. That was embarrassing.
I created that memory. The Mandela effect. That's what they call it.
The Mandela effect. That's what it is, the Mandela effect. Yes. Okay, so then there's the conversation with...
Everyone, by the way, is emotionally dumping right now. They're like, can we please get to hometowns?
Everyone is emotionally dumping. Everyone is so tired.
I know.
The exhaustion level in the eyes. I would say by far Piper looks like she is like, and Piper was one of the ones who was just like killing it through the whole process. And she just the whole time seemed like she was
even
doing
keel,
okay.
positive attitude.
Yep. And then had this great date with Matt, and
she's broken.
That sent her over the edge. It was like she had this incredible date with Matt. She was really liking him, and then it was like, I can't handle this anymore. Like now I'm actually invested, and all this excess drama is sending me over the edge. They were so done. And then there was sweet Abigail with Matt.
Yeah, and you guys, we saw the light go out in his eyes. He was like,
he was absolutely done.
He didn't physically move away from her, but you saw his eyes just.
He was
walking slowly out of the room.
No,
backwards.
He was absolutely done.
Yeah,
and you know what right away I wrote down is that she knew it too, which is something about Abigail that made it harder for me to watch, because it's like Abigail, you can tell, is really perceptive.
Yeah.
And she was like, the second she was talking to him, it seemed to me like she was trying to communicate with him how she felt so that he knew, but she also knew that it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, she was basically just like, I mean, she said as much. She was like, I'd rather you just send me home now than at the rose ceremony. Can I just go home? And he was like, pack up ye bags.
I mean, it was like, he literally said, he's like, I was instantly drawn to you. And because I felt so comfortable, I started to explore other relationships. And I was like, if someone would have said that to me, I would have been like, what am I? Just a cozy pillow that I'm just nice and comfy? So you felt real safe? Never feel safe with me. It was hard. It was hard. And she's so sweet. I mean, I don't know who they're going to have be the next Bachelorette, but we were thinking initially that it might be Abigail, but we really didn't get to know her at all. So unless she has the Bachelorette's coming up, so it's got to be.
I just don't see Bachelorette vibes with her. Like,
they also didn't like let us really get to know her at all. We didn't even get a one-on-one date with her.
Oh my God! But are we gonna get another Bachelorette of color? Because they're sure as hell not gonna cast Rachel.
That's for sure. I sure hope so. There's a lot of really great options.
Brie, Michelle, and who else?
Serena.
Who do you think has the most Bachelorette vibes out of all three of them?
I mean, obviously, after seeing, for me, that clip of Michelle,
right? That's what I was thinking too.
So fun. Like, give us a season with a super fun Bachelorette. You know, I feel like
Brie is probably who they're gonna pick though.
Maybe. I mean, I'm super down with that too.
Me too.
But I will say, like, you know, it was
Serena's too like reserved.
Yeah, you know what, Tayshia. We didn't see the like super fun side of Tayshia on Colton's season. They didn't like expose that via production. But then we saw it on Bachelor in Paradise, and we saw what like. How the playfulness made her, like, in my opinion, one of the best bachelorettes ever.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, I could just see Michelle kind of being like that. Like, maybe they are not showing us, like, this side of Michelle. And then Michelle has this potential to be, like, literally one of the best bachelorettes because she's so fun. Because I feel like you need a really, like, fun, like, silly person to deal with that amount of stress to, like, help put people at ease. I feel like I could see Michelle being super great at that.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I'd really like Michelle as Bachelorette.
Michelle for Bachelorette.
I'm kind of down.
Unless, Matt and her are together.
Kind of down. I mean, Katie's still a fun idea.
Yeah, I love Katie. I know that was like the rumor and it was shut down, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen.
No,
like they just haven't chosen the
They
Bachelorette
literally
yet.
they literally tell the person like the night before they announce them. So
it might be. I'm very down with Katie as well.
It's fun. Okay, so yeah, bye Abigail. We'll miss you. We'll see you in paradise.
We hope so. And then he has a conversation for a hot minute with Rachel, who's just talking about meeting her family, and oh my god. And then he has a conversation with Kit, and we see Kit talk about her life trajectory and how he needs to know that this is her list of goals, and she lays out her list of goals. And this is another moment. This episode with Kit is another moment where I'm like, I know we talked mad shit, but I kind of stan.
Kind of do.
Like, her just being like, yeah, this is basically the vision board for my life. And either you're my cheerleader or you're not, Matt.
Although it was just kind of funny. No, I'm like fine with her now. We don't have beef anymore.
Her and I,
in case she was wondering. No, although I did think it was funny how she was like, she's talking about all these goals she has and how she wants to travel and explore. And so I was planning like on her being like, I want to have kids, when I'm 30. And she's like, I want to wait till like 25 to have kids. And I'm like,
well, she's only 21.
I know. It's just still, I guess it's still funny to me. I'm just like, oh, wow.
She was like, I'm different from everyone else. Like, I'm not quite ready to get married and have kids yet. It'll be in about 3 years.
Exactly. That's what I thought was like funny to me.
It's just like, but yeah, she really lays it out for him, and Matt does not grant her what she was expecting, which is the group date rose. In fact, I think everyone was expecting the group date rose because, like you said, everyone was just like, I'm putting it all out there.
Do you think she wouldn't have gone home if she got the group date rose?
I think she wouldn't have gone home.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
No. But Rachel gets the group date rose, the person who probably, put the least out there because clearly Matt is hot for her. And then they find out that they get like the rest of the evening together. And him and Rachel are going to have this private one-on-one. And they have a one-on-one slow dancing moment with Aloe Black singing, who I think this has to be the most famous artist that they've had on the show, right?
Maybe not like that country guy.
I guess I don't know country music well, so I couldn't tell you.
I feel like one of them country people.
Yeah, one of them, the country guys. Well, Aloe Black, I mean, that was huge.
Yeah.
And they're, the piano.
He is like
the
very
piano's
huge.
playing. He's just.
How'd they get him to come on the show?
Probably quarantine times. No touring. Probably the best time for The Bachelor to get any artists because all of them are just hanging out. And I can tell you this because Evan's job.
Yeah.
Nobody's touring. So everyone's just like, do you want me to perform
tonight
on
we
this
have
show?
Kings of Leon.
No, for real. It's just like, you want to fly out here? It's like, yeah, sure. You're going to pay me a lot? Or even just like, you want us to Zoom us in? Yes? No? Okay. We'll do whatever. Honestly, at this point, we've been in our homes for months and there's nothing going on.
Yeah, that was a legit date though.
Yeah, that was, and then the way that they cut it up though, by the way, where it's like this song is so emotional, and then they're like dancing.
It worked. It worked.
And the girls are just like crying, and you're just like, oh my god, this is so hard to watch. Yep. It was painful. It was so painful. Okay, then
after that night, after that evening portion of the date,
after the evening
Matt
portion,
gets a little visitor to his roomie.
Kit is not having it. Kit is in her furs. She is just like, I miss my penthouse. I am ready to go home. Like, I don't think that this is going to work because I did not get the group date rose.
Tell you what, I know he said, like, I want you here. I know he said that. I think her ass was getting sent home had she not.
Yeah, I think
she stuck it out.
I think you're probably right.
And I think she knew that. And I think she was saying, I'm going to go home.
She was just like,
I'm going to do the boss ass bitch move, and be like, I have a life that I miss and I don't see it with you.
Well, when she goes,
power move.
When she goes after the hometowns, it's not a figure it out type of situation. She's just like, honey, I don't need to remind you again that my mother is Cynthia Rowley. So if you want her ass to fly to Nemacolin, it better be serious.
I die every time you say Nemacolin. It's so funny to me. It's so funny to me.
Cynthia Rowley has a very busy schedule because guess what? The pandemic might be here, but fashion never sleeps. Cynthia has a lot on her schedule. So you better be about ready to give me a ring if you want her to leave that penthouse, honey. Stop it. I don't know what her father does, but I'm sure he's busy too. And so it was serious business. It was serious business.
Ooh, that's funny.
To the point where she tells him, she's like, I'm done. I need to go home. And she's literally checking her vitals. She's like checking her temperature.
Oh my God.
She's checking her pulse. And she's just like, wellness checks. Deep breathing like they've taught me in all my meditation classes that I spend a fortune on. But it was a boss move. It really was. And I loved that he was just like, no, please stay. And she was just like, no, I'm out.
I love it. I gotta say, I love it too.
I loved it.
Like,
she was just like, no.
Like, I know you're dying to keep me here, you know? She's just like, that's funny to me.
She's just like, here, with the just checking your pulse. She was like, no. My pulse is above. Where's my watch?
I'm doing a body scan. I'm checking in my body.
Yep, it's just like here.
Heart chakra's feeling a little clogged.
My pulse is a little more rapid than I like, which is saying that my body is telling me that it is time to remove myself from the situation.
I am telepathically communicating with Cynthia, and she says,
Cynthia, you know how much I don't know what it is. I'm sure that her parents have a beautiful relationship, but I just like to imagine Cynthia being just super demanding of Mr. Rowley or whatever his name is. And I'm just like, he just annoys her constantly. And I just picture Cynthia just telepathically communicating with Kitten is just like, your father is driving me insane. You must return home.
Kit, I need you. Kitten. That's she calls her Kitten. Kitten, come home, Kitten. She's like, Kit's like, look, I've been astral projecting every morning since I got here, and Cynthia needs me. Meanwhile, Cynthia's at home being like, Kitten.
Kitten's been sending her body to Cynthia via astral projection every single day, so her mother it's just not enough now.
Cynthia's they have like a mother-daughter podcast. Cynthia's just like talking with the astral projection of Kit.
They're so rich.
She's laughing. There's
They're
no one there.
so rich that she's literally just able to have a full a hologram version of Kitten there, but like they're not quite to the point yet where they can actually do it on Kitten's side as well. So it's just like just a hologram of Kitten not speaking, and then Cynthia's just laughing with it just.
I love that.
And she's just like, I hate my husband so much.
I like that.
Me too. I feel like it works well. Let us know if that's true. Also, love your shoes.
Love I like Cynthia Rowley's clothes. They're cute, dude. Really They're cute. I looked up, I was like on Kit's Instagram, you know, originally when we first got the cast list, I was hating so hard and I was like, I want that, hate you, love this.
You're just like putting it to your shopping tab.
Everything that's happening here. That neon green puffy, cute. That orange gown, adorable. You are a spoiled, entitled brat. That's like literally what I was doing. We're like, so embarrassing for me.
Okay, Kit. We were wrong about Sarah and we were wrong about Sarah coming back and we were wrong about you.
We don't know what's to come in the next.
That's true. How dare I? I would never. I take it back. Well,
there's tears welling up in my eyes right now. I thought you believed in me.
There's actual tears. Oh my God. I don't know if you're squeezing. I feel like you're going to give yourself a hernia. Please be careful. Squeezing up.
I just pass out.
It's okay. What I'll do is kind of like what Cynthia does with Kitten. I'll just prop you up and we'll just continue.
Have I told you how my brother, when he was little, he used to flex his muscle and go like this? Oh my God. Shake. That's what that reminded me of. Okay, continuing on. Well, she goes home. So we'll miss you, Kit. R.I.P.
But honestly, not only does she go home, Matt James picks her up like she's a stuffed animal and walks her out in like the most odd fashion I've ever seen. I'm like, Matthew, just because she's wearing a fur jacket doesn't mean that she's a little stuffed animal. You can't just hold her out and she's just... It was so awkward. I hated it so much. I hated it so much. But Kitten is gone, and I will tell you this much. Kitten is going to make a splash in paradise.
You think?
Yes, because Kitten is going to show up with 17 bags. And there's going to be this whole, like, her needing to have her space.
Oh, her intro package is going to be with her and, like, all this luggage and all these clothes on the beach being like,
yes.
with, like, a scarf around
She'll
her
have,
neck.
like, she'll have a bunch of assistants
Hats.
with her. Yeah, she's going to come with, like, her own wardrobe stylist and an assistant and all this stuff. And she's going to be busy all the time taking calls.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good, like, little thing.
You can take that ABC.
Okay, so all right. So now we're on to Jessenia's one-on-one.
Which they get to drift together, which looks so fun. Even though they make her drive first, and I would be horrified. I can barely parallel park. I'd be like, you expect me to drift this thing? Are you kidding me?
No, that's scary.
That's
you
so
could kill
scary.
everyone in the car.
Yes, I know. I would be very frightened, and they make her do it first. But she is so good at it. Why is she so good? Matt is, his adrenaline is like
Matt
pumping.
is me. Anything he can crash into, he does.
Honestly, the instructor is about to have a heart attack because you're supposed to go around the boxes and Matt is gleefully slamming into them.
I love that.
I'm having visions of him with Brie, how they crash the ATV, and like we see in this upcoming episode how, what is it, Rachel is like eats it out of skydiving, and I'm just having these visions where all these people are getting injured. Oh my God, Serena P got like punched in the nose, and they cut that part. They were doing the boxing date, and I'm like, now Matt's just aimlessly crashing in to these boxes. It's like, this man is dangerous, and somebody needs to just, this season.
He's a maniac on the floor. Nima Colin's never seen this man before. That's good.
That's
all right,
it.
So anyway.
Well, I know a gold record. I know a platinum record when I hear one.
Oh, man. Well,
Temecula Road's got
Bring Evan in. He's the dude
he's
in
our
trio.
third. Yeah, we've got this. But the night portion, it's the same thing happened when he was talking to Jessenia, like when he was talking to Abigail, and he literally, you see him disconnect from his body. He has this look in his eyes where all of a sudden...
He's astral projecting.
No, he truly is. He's going and visiting Cynthia and Kitten somewhere, and he's just not there. And she's like, I felt like Jessenia, she said she was completely like thrown off, but I felt like she seemed like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like she seemed like she was seeing what was kind of happening
I don't think
too.
Jessenia wanted to be with him long term.
Yeah, I didn't feel like they had crazy chemistry.
Nah.
Especially in comparison to the chemistry that you see with him with a few of the other women.
Yeah.
It's like, it just,
I know what you want to say. I know you want to talk about him and Michelle.
Yeah, because the chemistry's nuts.
No.
It's so good.
It's weird though, he sent Piper home and like, I thought they had, I'm a little surprised.
That's true. I
kind of thought, Brie got the third technically. I kind of thought that there was more of a connection between him and Piper than him and Brie. Guess not.
I thought that there was such a huge connection between him and Piper.
Me too.
I don't know if that was also me.
Were we projecting?
I think maybe we were, because we like Piper so much.
Astral projecting?
We were probably astral projecting into their relationship in Nima Colin. And we were like, I feel like I'm right there while Temecula Road is singing and I'm watching you too.
Yeah, I definitely was there.
I was there with them.
Road,
yeah.
Singing into the mic. I was the fourth.
Yeah. You were just killing those harmonies. But he's got the disconnected face. Also, I made note and I told Becca.
This is really important.
Broads, if you go back, whenever Matt is about to break up with someone who he takes on a one-on-one date, he's going to do it because he's not wearing a turtleneck. Okay? Go back. He doesn't wear when he's gonna his sexy look is that turtleneck. He's like, I'm putting this turtleneck on and
maybe
I'm gonna
a little leather jacket.
Maybe that little leather jacket with it. He's like, I'm about to make out with somebody. When he's got zero turtleneck on, he's like, it's time for their asses to go home. And it's pretty wild to me that I don't know if he's the one doing this, if Carrie's the one. Carrie's like, what's your mood, do you think? Like, and then Carrie's like, you're not into it. Let's just cut the turtleneck. Let's make this serious. No turtleneck. I don't know. But it's kind of interesting to me. A little clue.
It's wild.
It really is.
I don't know
Also,
what it means, but it's wild.
quick side note, Matt James has been posting so much about him with turtles lately, and I just need someone else. I just need to say that because some of his Insta stories with him and turtles, he's like eating a carrot, like Lady and the Tramp style, with like this big tortoise, and he's like singing, like, and he's like in love with these turtles, and I want to say that it's cringe, but I am obsessed with it. I love his turtle content.
It's a little weird to me.
Mm-hmm. But I love it.
Mm. Well, bye, Jessenia.
Yeah, Jessenia leaves, I'm sure. I feel like I keep saying we're going to see these people on Paradise, but I guess we don't know because we literally have
Supersized cast.
So, I mean, there are so many people from Petey Pie's season that you're like, I'm sure are going to be on Paradise. So
maybe
who
not
knows?
that many, though. Unfortunately, those women kind of...
It's true because a lot of people have forgotten.
In the dust.
Yeah, that's too bad.
I gotta ask, how far do you think I would have got on Matt's season?
I think you would have killed it on Matt's season.
You think?
Yeah, I really do. I think that you are very playful, and I think that he would have really liked that. And I think you guys have been really flirty with each other.
Top 2, you think?
I would say...
All the way?
I would say...
Huh? Top 3? Fantasy Suites. Top 2? All the way.
I think that you would get to the top 3.
Ice cold dagger to the heart.
No, because I think
throw me to the wayside.
No,
He'd be scared of his feelings for me. That's why he said no.
I feel like he would be too overwhelmed with the power of what you brought to the bedroom. It would be like, this is too much for me. Also, I think that I feel like he might have done a Kendall with you.
That is cold, and you're a bitch.
But this is the thing. Do you really think that you would have really, really liked Matt?
I don't care. We can be engaged for like 8 months and break up.
Bitch, I think that you could get to you would win the show anytime you'd really want to. I tried with Ari. I think that you think it, but I think that there was that part in your brain that you were like, there's just this, I don't know.
I'll tell you one thing. Had I, in my second meeting with Ari, we're going to talk about this on the Patreon, broads. No, but for real. That meeting that they cut out when I talked to him before the top 3, I swear to you, we were... And see, also, people are going to be like, why can't you let this go 3 years later? It's because I'm watching it all over right now, getting reminded of everything.
Yes,
I sound like a weird, obsessive bitch. But I swear to you, he was open to me being like, I want to come back for that top 3. I swear he was low-key kind of open to it. And who knows what would happen. He would have still changed his mind and ended up with Lauren. I swear they're destined to be together. But
yeah, but I think that that's largely also because of you.
That makes no sense.
What do you mean?
They're destined to be together because of me?
No. I'm saying that like he maybe would have chosen you if you really would have given it your all in your heart.
Do you think he would have switched to Lauren though still?
I don't know.
Maybe like a year later. Maybe we broke up like a year later.
Yeah. But I just feel like, as much as you were really putting it all out there, you knew, even if you didn't know in the moment, it was like...
Had I been 26? 24?
Perhaps.
25? Had I been 24? 23? Had I been 23?
Perhaps.
I could be in Scottsdale. Surveying my land. Oh man, I love this ongoing thing. I just love it. I gotta say I love it. All right, so anyway... Final 4, y'all. Let's talk about who our Final 4 is.
So, yes, we have the rose ceremony. And let me tell you something. I would like to talk to you about Piper's dress for a second, because that was one of the most stunning dresses I've ever seen. And I told Becca the second she came on screen, I said, Piper knows she's going home. That is her final dress that she was thinking she'd get proposed to. Yeah, and I feel like she was doing it. I think she knew.
They give you a dress, though, for the proposal. It's not one you bring.
Oh, really?
Then maybe like... Carrie comes out of the woodwork. Scuttles out and is like,
diamonds?
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, that's Neil.
No, I know it's Neil.
But also chandelier earrings.
They're like cousins, So
what if we found out that they were actually related?
I'd kind of believe it. They have the same energy to me.
Yeah, they
like
kind of
weird, ambiguously single together with someone aliens.
Yes,
like
definitely. They have the same energy.
Sort of
for sure.
Strangely old, yet ageless, yet asexual, and all of these things at once.
All of them at once, truly.
Icons of style
and grace. But
how do you think Neil feels about Chris?
I feel like he's probably
happy.
Yeah, well, you know that they have
manly bands.
Yeah, he's his
Neil
competitor, and Neil Lane is celebrating right now. He truly is. He's just like, I've been trying to get rid of this guy. Neil's actually probably vying for Chris
Neil's
Harrison's job. When we saw Neil really, really talking a lot to Tayshia and Brendan, maybe that was his audition for host. He was really trying. He's like, Chris motherfucking Harrison, if you're gonna come for my job and you're gonna start selling wedding bands, I'm gonna come for your job and I'm gonna really try to become the next host.
So anyway, poor Piper.
Piper was just looking absolutely stunning, and and again, we don't know about Paradise, but man, if I could predict somebody doing well in Paradise, I feel like Piper is going to
kill it.
I think Piper's going to just crush in Paradise.
Well, so we got Rachel, we got Brie, we got Michelle, and we got Serena P.
For our top 4. We have our top 4. I really can't believe
Y'all, we have 3 out of 4 non-white people in our top 4.
Yes, we do.
That is a big fucking deal.
Yes, it is.
Which means that shows that a non-white woman is going to get in the top 2, which is actually already that's actually crazy enough. A new, what do they call it? Record breaking? That's not what I'm trying to say. What's the word?
Historical.
Yeah.
For the Bachelor season, I guess. Which is insane. I mean, it's absolutely insane. But
wow.
Yes, finally. And they are 3 really, really amazing women.
Totally. Love all of them. Love all 3 of them.
Yeah. Love all 3 of them. Well, I will tell you this much. Next week looks harrowing, to say the least. I don't understand the music that was going on. It felt like a horror movie music, like ding, ding, ding. And they made every single family date look stressful.
It looks like Rachel dies.
It looks
skydiving?
Like, yes, it was horrifying looking. Like, honestly, like, I don't understand.
Plummets into the ground?
What are you showing us? Like, this is, I don't understand. And why does every family date look so terrible? Like,
can't wait for the families. Can't wait to see them.
Yeah. That's gonna be a whole other conversation next week when it comes to Rachel's family, and I'm interested to see what that conversation is gonna look like. By the way, we never even talked about, I can't believe this, we never talked about the fact that Kurt Connell came out and posted her own statement on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Rachel finally came out and said something. In fact, Chris Harrison put out his quote unquote apology, and before Chris Harrison resigned from the rest of this season, resigned in quotations, Rachel came out and she finally did make a statement. Also, I will say this, I mean, so many people were saying that she wasn't allowed to make a statement, and I'll just echo again what Becca said before, no one can stop her from doing it. They can just discourage her. They can say that they don't want her to do it. They would prefer her not to. They want her to hold off and whatever, but no one can stop her from making a statement.
What? Yeah, no, that's bullshit.
So she finally made a statement. Obviously, it's not something as a white woman for me to say how I feel about the statement, but she did make one if you haven't checked that out. But yeah, I'm very interested to see on after the final rose, depending on who they bring on specifically, if we're going to have a sub host who's really willing to have these conversations on after the final rose, or if they're going to try to gloss over it. I'm very interested.
Here's what I'll say about the statement. At this point, to me, a statement's just a statement. PR, it's just, dude, you can have someone else craft whatever words you want to fucking say. It can be a good apology. It can be a bad apology, whatever. At the end of the day, it's just a fucking PR statement. You better put your money where your mouth is. Make some amends in one way or another, whether that's taking time to, show your journey of educating yourself on the public platform, reparations and donations. But I'm over like the PR statement alone doesn't mean shit to me anymore. I don't give a shit how good it is. It just doesn't mean much. Anyone can craft one. Anyone can hire someone else to craft one. That's what I think about that.
And with that, T, we will chat about all of this next week.
Yeah.
And also, please join us on Thursday. If you haven't listened to our episode last week, we started answering a bunch of these sex questions that you all sent us. And we have Jamanika on Thursday, and I love her so much. And we have a lot of good conversations. Yeah. So please join us, and we'll chat soon, broads.
Chat soon. Bye-bye.